Here we go. I think we're live. Find out as we go here. It is incredibly hot today. And as you know, my air conditioner up in the stream room for some reason isn't working. So we're going to try to beat the heat. Going to try to get this, get the charts in, get the trades in, see what's going on in the world. Thank you for joining me wherever you are on any platform. I ask that you please hit the like button, tap the screen, subscribe, share it out, hype it up. It is kind of a sleepy day in markets. We're seeing markets sell off overall in general after some strong closes last week. Doesn't seem to be any direct catalyst that I have seen quite yet, but we're going to get into these charts. Bitcoin not looking so hot here. Unfortunately, Bitcoin not doing so great. After visiting the 200-day moving average and not actually testing it. It's so close. Not actually testing it, but close enough. I think we can say that it counts. Price has sold off now for 3 days, and today looking at a red candle again. Not a great move here. The 200-day has been the line in the sand. It has been the divider of the bulls and the bears, and it has been the nightcap. Was really hoping that the strength we saw in the beginning of May would translate to a break of the 200-day moving average. We could escape its resistance, and we could look for potentially something more exciting, something more bullish into this year. As it stands, it looks like we've rejected. We have traded down now. Like I said, we're on our 4th day here. The 50-day moving average now in sight at 75.4. It's interesting that the 50-day sits roughly at the previous low from the end of April. Holding support there can keep this trend intact. We can still be seeing an uptrend. It would be technically a higher low, but man, it gets harder and harder to argue this. We have remained logically bullish, but always optimistic, of course. I'm a perma bull on Bitcoin over time. Bitcoin goes up. Just not really going up right now. I welcome that to change, but here we are back in the passenger seat. We're buckled into the kid's seat in the back again at this point. We've moved to the 200-day. We haven't broken through. We pulled back, and without a change in fortune here, we're probably looking at a repeat of what we saw from last year into January of this year. Price action definitely deviating in some ways, at least not a literal copy of what we saw on the last, I'll say, momentum leg here that brought us down to 60,000. It's not a literal copy, but it certainly is looking more similar as time goes on here. Not loving this. Things were looking really, really good at the start of May. The sell in May and walk away motto was kind of aging poorly, at least for the first week, and now back on the table. The bears giving up supply. In big and seemingly unrelated news somehow, Michael Saylor bought $2 billion worth of Bitcoin again. How is this even possible? How does this work? How can he be buying Bitcoin and it go down? Especially to the tune, I'm trying to find the tweet, of $2 billion. None of it makes sense. Type in Saylor, there it is. So I type in Saylor on X and other accounts come up. Here we go. Boom. Saylor has acquired 24,869 Bitcoin. 25,000 Bitcoin. For $2 billion. Somehow at 80K a piece. So we're... actually, that's not that far from price. All right. Maybe not his worst buy ever. At 80K a piece, that brings the yield to 12.6%, and they now hold 843,738 Bitcoin. How is there... I guess, like, how is there even $2 billion of Bitcoin for sale at this price? We've been at this price since February. February, March, April, May. This is the 4th month in this range. How is there even 2 billion available? I mean, I guess that shows the almost infinitely deep liquidity that is Bitcoin, right? I mean, that's the only way I can like really frame this as logical, is that the liquidity is just incredibly deep. we have like prayed for some kind of short squeeze, some kind of like I'll say short squeeze or supply crunch or something forever now, and it just doesn't seem as if it's like possible. What is going on here? Their average remains about 75.7K, so Saylor is technically still above water here. They are ever so slightly above water on their holding. What is that? 75.7. We're at 76.2. It's like 0.5%. 75.7. 0.5%, maybe almost 1%. But at the billions and billions of dollars they hold, $63 billion worth of Bitcoin, 1% is still what, like 600 million in profit? It's kind of crazy. Last week we had Saylor and Strategy come out and say that they were like open to selling Bitcoin when needed, which is a reversal of what they've talked about forever. Very strange timing, very kind of honestly just like a strange comment in general. I guess that was off the back of a really miserable earnings session. I don't really know why they chose to share that. Maybe because they foresee a scenario where they have to. The important thing to keep in mind is when they say sell Bitcoin in the future, they don't mean sell all $63 billion worth of Bitcoin. They mean sell whatever they need to cover the floats or the dividends or whatever it is of these stock mechanics they have set up here. So not Saylor's gonna panic sell all the Bitcoin, but not a great sign for markets. Of course, I don't think markets are going to be happy if they start selling. I think the best thing we can do is hope and pray. Our thoughts and prayers here that this same way that their $63 billion of buying did virtually nothing, hopefully their selling will have the same impact on the charts. It's hard to really root for that outcome. I think we're so conditioned to expect it to dump if they ever sell and not pump if they buy that it's hard. It's a hard ask, but we'll try to remain positive there. We're going to look at stocks. We're going to look at bonds. We're going to look at commodities. We're going to take a peek at almost everything. But let me top down a little bit here. Bitcoin closed weekly bearish engulfed from the previous week, the second week in May, bringing it back down at 77.3. We have a lower low already this week, bringing continuation to the sell-off. On the weekly time frame, there is relatively no support here until we reach about 72.8. It's about the first weekly support we have. Below that is going to be these double-ish bottoms from March, sitting around 66,000. And so let's hope and pray. Let's hopium and prayum that there's a lot of hopes and prayers actually in crypto. We've gotten very religious in crypto now. Hope and pray that if we do continue to sell off, that 72.7 holds. I don't know how I feel about that. I'm not sure how I feel about that. If we look at the potential for another leg down, we would use the same analysis with our fib tool. Look down at our extensions. We see that, well, it didn't pin the bottom. R2, our measured move extension, did roughly hit the closes for the week. Maybe we'd be looking, oh, that's really rough. That's super rough. I don't know if I want to get so funny already. The same move would bring us to 43.5. Friendly reminder, hopeful reminder here, that Bitcoin has still not tested the 200-week moving average, which is honestly surprising. In February, it seemed like it was imminent. We have kind of shied away from it at this point. It now sits at 61.5. It continues to creep up. There is always a possibility that we find support there on a test. I think that virtually no one is expecting that. I think people are almost looking to like short the 200-week. So maybe some contrarian kind of game theory going on there. Maybe we'll find a bounce if we trade back down to 61.5. Above us at the 50-week, I don't really remember the 50-week coming into play. 50-week also kind of looks like a pretty decent bear bull barrier as well. Sits at 93.6, which would be a 94K, would be a beautiful place for Bitcoin to look to make a move if it can find support this week. I don't know. I'm not feeling it. We had so much momentum started. Things were looking so good. And we're just 180ing here again, letting us down. That's why we've been looking at other charts. There hasn't really been much changes to this since February. I feel like the interest in this chart has just capitulated. Okay, today's sell-off actually bringing us back to the open of the monthly candle. Now looking really ugly. We're about halfway through May with a long top wick, almost no bottom wick. Terrible place for May to close. We do not want to close down here at 76K. That is a really gross candle. I'm not even sure if we've seen a candle similar to that in the last few years on the monthly time frame. No. Maybe that means we won't close here. Oh man, this room is heating up. It's supposed to be 93 today. 93, is that what the... I have a feeling that's going to keep getting bumped up. Very bullish on heat. 94 now. Something tells me it's even going to trade higher than that intraday today. I think we're going to get maybe a swing at 100. Oh my. Oh my goodness. What is moving? What is good? We're going to have to make this stream more compact than usual so I don't have like a heat stroke here. What state am I in? I'm in the Northeast, my friend. Pickle back from Hawaii. Good to have you, my friend. Good to see you. Just let it drop already, Cake. I think we're all really at that point here. It's like, just dump. Get it over with. Get it out of the way. I mean, getting impatient. Bearishly impatient. I just wanna see the move. Things are honestly looking so good. Like I don't feel foolish. I don't feel like wrong about it. Things are looking really strong from like the 6th, honestly, until about Thursday of last week. Bitcoin was holding its own above previous resistance. It was really close to testing the 200-day. And over the weekend and into today, we're just seeing that kind of just give up. Like, Saylor bought $2 billion worth of Bitcoin. Let's dump it. 78.6 was a really good-looking level for a bounce. We had an order block on the way down on the daily before reaching our February low. We had bounced, retaken that level. Well, rejected from that level in April, retaken it in May, and even during the week last week, found support there. This was, like, we even had a trade there during the intra-week. It was looking good. Honestly, on the close Saturday below 78.6, that's when this kind of fell apart and unraveled. This is maybe the only near-term kind of looking support right there. Like I said, 75.7. I'm not willing to look for a lung there, honestly. I don't have the confidence. Elliott wave analysis. This whole move was a B wave. Bearish in nature. What's up, JNKZ? What's up, man? Shout out to everybody over there on TikTok. It was a B wave. I mean, ABC. You mean like ABC? ABC. It certainly is not looking. It's not looking like a strong wave. That we had such hope, man. That 200-day could have like been taken, and we could have just had something really interesting happen, right? We could have like seen something weird, something unusual. Rejecting here just puts us back where we were. You know, we had a glimmer of hope. I don't think anybody really got excited, but we had like a glimmer of hope that we weren't just like roughly here. Hopefully not right here, but roughly here in the retracement from the all-time high. It's like we had a momentum leg down. We broke the interim low of the bear market. Another leg down. I mean, I guess if we do see a meaningful sell-off from 60,000, it's likely going to be a really strong buying opportunity. It likely won't be the Pico bottom, but it could be a really strong place to re-enter from any profits taken. That's probably what I'm looking. 75.7, the Saylor moving average. 75.7, yeah. I actually didn't put that together. You are right. You're correct. We have some interesting confluence there. I'll bite for a second. We have some confluence. Daily closes on the low from the end of April. Holding here is like technically a higher low. It's cutting it really close, but it is a higher low. Our 50-day moving average coming up to meet it likely will be at 75.7 tomorrow. There is a possibility to find support here, move back up, and start to begin getting like pinned in between the 200 and the 50. That can set us up for that golden cross that we were looking at on Friday. The old golden daily cross. If Bitcoin remains above the 50-day or basically 75.7, we're looking for the golden cross in the day to come. Roughly the end of May, maybe the start of June. If we trade below the 50-day, the golden cross is still very probable, but starts to get moved off of the table. Trading below the 50-day can give us the near miss that we see in very bearish scenarios where they don't actually cross the 50, I'll say, bearishly kisses. It comes in, gets a smooch, and leaves. If trading basically like moves down like this, and that would be a very, very bearish signal. I think you can make some plays looking at 75.7 as the invalidation for a long. I'm not interested in it. It's every time I long, I'm getting slapped. What's up, King Peasant? What's up, digital content? What's up, man? What's up? It's TKI Elliott Wave. I have a great video on Elliott Wave over here on the tubes at Tom Crown. Great video. What's up, Web? A lot of people talking about Elliott Wave. Oh, some people making fun of it. That's good. That's also good. We need to be able to make fun of ourselves here in trading. The real answer is nothing works all the time. That's the actual answer. Free educational content. Who's moving 𝐂𝐧? That's a really good question. I do not know. I guess Arthur Hayes and them, right? The people that were shilling it. Likely. The 𝐂𝐧 whales. I don't know, man. 𝐂𝐧 finding itself actually in a hard spot comparatively. We can take a look at 𝐂𝐧 then. Kind of breeze through some of these other charts today as well. What's up, Waffles? What else is here today? Let me guess, we're bear flag going to 45K nonsense. I mean, I don't want that to happen. But what else are we looking at? Under the 200-day, it's not even far from price, but under the 200-day, we're kind of looking downwards, and we're remarkably similar to the last cycle. My heart and mind are open to something different happening, but that something different is not happening until we break that 200-day moving average, honestly. What's up, Alicia? Jarko Star. Who else is over here on the tubes? Crypto Crimson. What's up, brother? Ace of Hearts. It's a quiet day for markets. It's weird. The interest in markets, I don't know if it's due to gambling sites or prediction markets, gambling on predictions. I don't know what it's due to, but the interest in just like charts and trading, and I mean, obviously crypto, but just even stocks, despite being at all-time high, seems to just continue to drain. I don't know what's going on. Maybe people are just broke. That's fair. How you doing, Derek Merrill? I got digital content. Joshua Tree, Janex, King Peasant, Kingpin, Orlando, Pickle, Venom Hex, Waffles. What's up, boys? This is the bare bones crew over here. Got your eyes on a bond. It's getting to the point of making you nervous. Yes, bonds are frightening. Bonds are frightening. Absolutely frightening. Let me look at bonds. MicroStrategy. I will forever call them MicroStrategy. Until they hit all-time high, they're MicroStrategy. Then they can be big strategy after they break all-time high. Just randomly reversing, I suppose. Last week's high on Tuesday at near 200. Didn't even hit their trend line. Didn't even hit the high trend. Kind of randomly reversing. Looking for, I think the hopium line here. Looking for that higher low again. Not a lot of room. 164. What's the low from the end of April? 156. Not a lot of wiggle room here. Want to see them continue to paint higher highs and higher lows. I'm actually impressed that it hasn't nuked off already. Especially after talking about selling Bitcoin, but maybe that makes people more confident in them. I'm not sure. The bubble has popped for everything. It's going to be a cold 4 years. Certainly could be. Does the bubble pop for everything? Well, you tuned into the right place because maybe we do have an argument for that. The everything bubble. We have been following this. I don't really know if anybody else is honestly following this. But we have been following this for months. We finally got confirmation last week, I think it was, or it was the week before during the FOMC. Either way, the SPX versus the M2 supply for 26 years, traded at a lower valuation. This month, it finally was able to move back and trade above its valuation from the year 2000, meaning the M2 supply was expanding faster than the S&P was growing. So it never actually hit an all-time high higher than the year 2000. Well, that did not last long. Actually, on Friday's open, we saw this trade back down below the high, and while it's not cooked yet, this is not what I wanted. This is not what I was, hoping to see. I said basically I think we see an expansive parabolic stage where everything like blows off top, doubles, and then collapses. Or this is it. This is where it all ends. This is where the music stops and everything scrambles. There certainly isn't confirmation of either direction at this point, but we are getting very close. This is looking ugly. Looking a little V-shaped, especially if we continue to see the sell-off this week. The rejection here is very scary. It is very, very scary. Of course, I wasn't trading in the year 2000. I don't know what the markets were like. I didn't experience it. But what this shows us is the potential, I don't want to say ceiling for valuation. But certainly, it presents a very meaningful point, inflection point or pivot point, where we are going to see new types of overvaluation, or maybe this is just going to be the cap, right? Maybe this is the top where all the algorithms start taking profit. There are other ways this can play out, of course, that aren't super doomy, but maybe we look for 4 years and we end up painting something like this. Look for years of selling off into higher lows. Hopefully nothing like the year 2000. But talking about the everything bubble pop, this is the chart you'd be looking at. If the everything bubble popped, then this is the guy. This is it. You're just watching this, and you're waiting for it to collapse. Let me see here. Let me see this. What do we got? Nothing really. We have, along with indices, seen this chart pull back and then find support on previous resistance. That is, of course, on the table and possible. Let's see what that would look like. 5% pullback. 5-6%. Yeah. You can kind of ignore the numbers on the right. They're not super meaningful. They're just there to give us a scale so we can actually chart this. I think I'm going to set an alert. If this does reverse this week and does not find support around this 3100 mark, things are looking pretty bad. Breaking 2700 is probably that signal that everything's popping. Making a lower low, probably the signal that things are popping. This is a pretty spicy chart. I think it's extra valid because very few people have ever thought of even markets this way. Very few people are looking at this, and that, in my experience, tends to make charts more valid, really. When everybody starts looking at the same chart, it tends to invalidate itself. Maybe self-fulfilling prophecy, who knows? But you can see we have made this climb since 23, maybe since 23. Kind of made this bounding climb. It would be pretty normal to see a backtest of that previous resistance, but without continuation, we just kind of fall through. You're likely to see some kind of lower low, lower high setup where we start painting head and shoulders, and we look for, last time this retraced for many, many years. I think 9 years. I think this bottomed actually in 2009 at the bottom of the financial crisis. So the unwinding of this, of this popping took 3,200 days. God, we're going to be old men. We're going to be old men if that's what's happening. Lord help us. It's a scary chart for sure. What's up, Foxy? How you doing, brother? I feel like nobody talks about this. People are just kind of, I think a lot of people, like if you're in stocks, are just like, oh, well, we're complacent. I got to take these off. My ears are sweating. Complacent and just all-time highs. All-time highs keep coming, keeps trucking. Yeah, you see pullbacks, you see some scary moments, but it just keeps on going. It's like they're not really awake. They're kind of on autopilot. Can see that V shape coming in. But of course, the SPX is going to have the highest correlation to the M2 chart we just looked at because it's SPX versus M2. So to see this kind of V shape forming on the SPX is totally normal. But I think we're just complacent, you know? We've seen very consistent above market returns since COVID, or since I'll say the bottom of the last bear market in 22. 100% gain since 22, 4 years, 25% a year. That's pretty wild. Historically, bear markets don't end until the 200-day is broken on Bitcoin. Well, that's what we were looking at the beginning of the stream here. Last week, this was looking really good. Unfortunately, we just didn't have the momentum yet. We do have potential for a higher low and a retest. But yeah, while we're under the 200, myself, even though I'm a perma bull and I love to cheerlead for green candles, I'm not looking for upside. You know, it's a really thin margin. It's like 81.3. We're currently at 76.3. It's only a few percent. If we can retake the 200, everything looks different. I'll start looking for much higher numbers. I'll start getting into the mindset of maybe this bear market is not playing out like the previous. But while we're under the 200, it just seems like a silly thing to do. I remain hopeful and optimistic, but it's just not quite in the cards. I don't think I'm ready to call the everything bubble has popped yet. But it is interesting to see not only a kind of hard close on Friday. Wait. Why has this not begun trading? Oh, it has. A hard close on Friday, but also continuation into this Monday candle. It also kind of feels like par for the course. Like, we have had just the most flip-floppy narratives going on in the world. The conflict in Iran is increasing. It's not increasing. It's over. It's just beginning. And it seems like every Friday we get the opposite update, and then every Monday we get the opposite update again. And maybe it's beginning to exhaust markets. Maybe liquidity is going to start drying up as it's just getting chopped to death. Apple's trading down a little bit today. Nvidia trading down a little bit today. Just looking at these real quick, I think there will be opportunity at their previous high. Looking for a position, even if it's just like a scalp. Apple kind of looking back at December last year's high, 288. Nvidia doing something similar, maybe at 216. Looking for just the end of April. Turning around, looking for a little discount. HUT, Intel. Man, a lot of party hat looking like candles here. Little gnome hat. Haha, little gnome guy is happy. That's because little gnome guy's a bear. He's been short. He's been in cash for all the years. Little gnome man. Get out of here, little gnome man. Dell holding up. What else we got? What charts look interesting? Take a look at USDTD. Look at Tether dominance. Oh, sure. Why not? I speculate the AI trade will rotate into crypto eventually. Definitely could be. Whoa. Tether dominance here, actually. Whoa. This triangle has been here over a month, 2 months. Wild, actually, how it stuck to that descending wedge here. Well, Tether dominance has not broken out yet. It is getting very close. If Bitcoin drops, maybe it's driving home the 75.7 level that we were just looking at. Basically, it looks like if we lose 75.7, Tether dominance will look to break out of this descending wedge. This is the exact same play, the exact same setup that we saw heading into the start of this year in January and February. Tether dominance was in a descending wedge, whatever you want to call it, doesn't really matter. Looking for a test of some kind of support and a breakout. Now gearing up for the same. It didn't actually come back to August's. I think this is August, of 24. Didn't actually come back to that resistance That would make it a much cleaner chart. I wouldn't count that out yet before potentially looking to reverse. That's getting damn close. Actually, way too close for comfort. We're at 753, 763, just 0.1%. And this chart can start looking very spooky again. RSI slightly breaking out. Let's throw some moving averages on this. I don't know if I've looked at it. I regret it. 200-day untested, but getting close. Today's candle opened below, now trading above the 50-day moving average here. On the week. Oh no. Oh no. Oh, that's ugly. I hate this. I hate everything. Let me off this ride. Tether dominance. Looking for the first golden cross on the week ever. People get tax returns? Yeah, I wish I got tax returns. First ever golden cross on the week for Tether dominance. The positives, we are very far from this cross. The cross may be magnetic to this chart, meaning Tether dominance may look to make a downside move to the 6% area to test the cross. When we had a death cross on Tether dominance, it traded lower. That's ugly. Well, that's tweetable. Gosh darn it. I've never looked at that. That's a bear signal. If that cross plays out, it's like basically implying, I don't know, like a retest of all-time high or all-time highs until their dominance. That's just not at all what I was hoping. Thanks, crypto. You are just always so spooky. Never letting us be comfortable. We didn't even get any upside to kind of like weather this, you know? Didn't even get them gains to be like, I can deal with some more downside. We got mad upside. Let's see. Other dominance. Oh, I said golden. Yeah, golden cross error. Yikes. Let's give that a tweet. A tweeter. God. But it is good bait. It's good engagement bait. There's that. The royal we. I'm so tired of this. Can we get like just anything? We had a whole bull market that just wasn't even bullish. Can we get like anything? That'd be cool. Thanks. Signed me myself. This looks like it's breaking out. My lord, we can't catch a break, dudes. It does always look darkest before dawn. I mean, I don't know if it actually ever looks darkest before dawn, but in the bear market, it is always the spookiest right before it's not so spooky, or before it gets good. So maybe that's part of it. This is the chart to be looking at, man. S&P M2 supply. I do kind of wonder, what does this look like for other indices? I have a feeling it's similar, but let's take a look here. Oh, for no reason. Oh, wait, there we go. That's kind of interesting. That is actually very interesting. So I've never looked at this. Maybe I should have. This does bring some comfort, I will say. This is comforting in some way. NASDAQ actually did this back at the start of last year. Broke its all-time high for some 2 supply. After pulling back really sharply, that was what, in May of 25, April, May of 25, broke through, back tested the all-time high, and is now putting in higher highs. That is comforting. That makes me feel a little better. Now I got to look at all the indices. Where's DJI at? Is it just the S&P that's spooky? Can't let me call the low again. DJI still hasn't broken all-time high. It's still below 50,000. Release the files. It's time to bring the files back out, baby. I don't think... Have they released any more files? I don't think they have. How obviously innocent of them. You know, a bunch of crimes, and you have all this stuff, and you just don't release it. How obviously incriminating. It's crazy. That's crazy. Legally ordered to release them, and they won't. That's crazy. Anyway, DJI is still underneath. So actually, every index is kind of at a different point here. S&P has just tested it, potentially rejected. NASDAQ broke it last year, is cooking in higher highs here, and now the DJI Dow Jones is about 10-15% below the 2000 high. Unusual, kind of weird that they would be so different. That's like my only kind of thought here. Weird that they're so different. That is a hell of a chart, though. On your phone, the tweet didn't have a picture, just Solana address. Double check that tweet. I don't think there's anything wrong with that tweet. There's no Solana address. Whoa. There's a Solana address? Oh, it might be the embedding. Is it like this embedding thing? Might be it. I noticed that this says like Solana something in the embed. Yeah, there's no contract address here, right? Yeah, there's me. That's me. Yeah, I don't see it. Anybody else confirm? Hopefully. Because if there's a Solana address snuck in there, I don't know, that means I was like hacked or something. That's not good. Ooh, Micron. You see a Solana address too. Yes, throw the go ahead, please throw a screenshot in Discord. I'm gonna look on my phone. Maybe it's not formatting right on mobiles. I'm not really sure. I just want to make sure that my account's not tweeting any contract addresses. That'd be wild. If it is a contract address, hopefully it's for Solana or for USDT. But why would it be USDT on Solana? Is weird. Real rough day for AI. That's super weird. Would you do me a favor there, quicker? Will you just copy paste that Solana address, see where it goes to? I'm almost positive that's the new embed thing. Wait, I can copy paste it, I think. I'm so confused. I mean, it's an address sent in 400 million. Something, that's weird. What in the hell? You might delete it and retweet it just out of safety. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and do that. That's weird. like I said, 99% sure that's just crap. Pretty sure that's just X, but yeah. You know, I can throw some emojis in here too. I noticed that post didn't have enough emojis. Weird. Why you put Justin Timberlake picture on your profile? I guess that's a compliment. Thank you. Thank you, man. It's just the contractor. Okay, cool. Still though, worth it to just delete it, right? It's only on mobile, which is really weird because on my mobile it doesn't show that. Anyway, yeah, hard day for AI. Nimoy, this is why we take. This is why we did the little profit thing, my friend. Nah, you're good. Micron down from 820 down to 692. Pulling back here. I mean, this was a hella heated run. I guess I didn't even notice last week closed red. This does have a good amount of room to the downside before it's in any kind of trouble. A lot of inefficiency on the way up. You just pumped. Did not look back. Re-entry is obviously going to be difficult. Like, looking back at the 500 to 470 area, the previous high. If it gets there. Crazy that it didn't hit 1,000. I thought it was just going to cook to 1,000. Day is getting a little heavy. Let's look back at 500. What scan? It was about scan disk. Grok is this true guess. That's Grok. Thank you. Grok. Yikes. Dude, everything, dude, it's kind of crazy though that this is starting to be some of the first pullback since February of this year. Lines up right with the SPX against M2, hitting that all-time high, pulling back. That's an ugly candle. Down 6.5% scan disk. These things have had so much upside though that it's, you know, a little bit downside. That's how it always starts. That is how it always starts though. Like, that's how you get trapped. It's like, well, they're up so much. It's not a big deal. Intel looks like shit. I think Intel is going back to 70. Oh, silver. Anything going on with these? Silver holding the low for now. Silver needs a strong week. If silver does not have a strong week, it's looking cooked. I need to see silver back to like 88 this week. It's definitely possible. But it needs to rebound. It just can't trade any lower. You might be able to look for a scalp position to like 81. Wow. It is getting impressively hot in here. PLTR. Sure. For you, Foxy, my friend, anything. PLTR. All right, well. I have a feeling I'm going to have a really strong told you so on this one. Trading down. I'm looking for what, 125? 125 to 135. Short 135. If it invalidate all of that, if it trades above 150, I doubt it. Dump Bitcoin Neo. It's not doing so great. I thought Microsoft said they missed the AI rally or something recently. I'm still looking at one. 450, 460. �RKLB. What's that? Sure. I haven't taken any requests from TikTok, so why not? Do they have �RKLB? Nope. Biddy reversing, chilling right where it needs to chill, at least for now. Rocket Lab. I swear we've looked at this. I don't know why there's no chart. I swear we've looked at it. The hell? What the hell? Rocket Lab. Yep, I'm out. I'd be out. Too perfect. The timing's too perfect. I'd be out. Since April of 24, 2 years, it's gone 4,000. I'm out. For these reasons, I'm out. Right at the measured move. Crazy chart, though. Like, for sure, crazy chart. What is Rocket Lab? Man, you bought Bitcoin at 120. Yeah, bad luck, Neo. Well, honestly, brother, almost everyone who gets into Bitcoin, like virtually everyone. The hell? Virtually everyone who gets into Bitcoin starts at the top. We all just started at different tops. Don't feel bad. I know I started a little bit before the top, but I kept buying, and I was buying more and more and more into the top into 2017. It's just the way it goes, my friend. What is Rocket Lab? Yeah, whoever's, honestly, I will agree with you, CBK. Whoever's buying this right now is just liquidity. That's rough. Right at the measure move. I would short this. Not financial advice. I could look to do this position. 23. I mean, minimum to 100, but like maybe more. Maybe more. Right? That's probably too crazy. Let's just go to 100. Rocket Lab is too expensive. They're almost profitable. Honestly, I wouldn't buy this for a lot of markdown. It'd be quite a bit of markdown. Private space industry. Private space industry is such a funny concept to me. Damn, Micron literally dumping right now. Today's actually getting pretty dumpy. That is the title and thumbnail, but today's getting more dumpy than I expected. Micron getting a haircut. These things are heading south. Dang. 𝐬𝐓. Dude, who is pumping 𝐬𝐓? What is happening with this? This was literally, 𝐬𝐓 was one of the most hated, destitute coins that have ever existed. Like, in this time period, from 22 to 25, and almost certainly in this time period too, like 18 to 21. 𝐬𝐓 was one of, I remember I bought 𝐬𝐓. I've told you guys this. I bought 𝐬𝐓 because on Reddit I saw a thread of like, what coins are dead and will never rally again. Will never ever rally again. And 𝐬𝐓 was like the most said. And so I went and bought some. Then I sat on it for 5 years and nothing happened. And then all of a sudden you get this wild pump. It's fishy. It's definitely fishy. The BTC pair is the only thing keeping me from saying this is like doomed. The BTC pair is interesting. Got a huge pump on the versus Bitcoin. peaked in November. It pulled back, found a low, and almost retested it. Now, it didn't break that high. Almost retested it. But it's looking like it could. If it does break against Bitcoin, it's November 25 high. I don't even have context to describe what that could mean. It just has never happened, really. And so I feel like it's just like not gonna happen. Like, yeah, I don't know. It's just never happened. Interesting. There is a coin that is at all-time high versus Bitcoin. Take a look at Sui, sure. Give me a sec. There is a coin that's at all-time high against Bitcoin, and that is Hype for some reason. Now, Hype is newer, and so it's not quite as impressive. We have seen this many times in these cycles where coins that kind of jump onto the space mid-cycle can continue to do stuff, through the bear market, and at least historically have topped out and not made progress during the next bull cycle, historically. But Hype, for some reason, Hype is right up at all-time high. I guess it didn't break, but it retested all-time high this weekend against Bitcoin. There, it looks a little janky, but it is trading at 45. If it breaks, if it breaks, because it was a double top, breaks its Bitcoin pair to all-time high. I mean, I guess if you're looking back at 60 for Hype, it's weird. It's about a 30% gain. I don't know about all-time highs in USD, but we'll take this slow and steady. Oh God, guys. Holy moly. What is the temperature now? It is now 90 degrees outside. I am up in the attic. It is probably 95 up here. Let me look at Sui for you, but I don't think I'd be up here that much longer. We'll see. Sui, you look like Pooey. Ah, but you filled our short. That's cool. Sui Pooey rejected from the 200-day on its rally in May, earlier this month. It is retracing. It tested $1. There you go, $1. Yesterday hit $1. $1 is almost always good for a bounce. It seems like a really lazy analysis, but $1 is almost always good for a bounce. I love playing the $1 move to the upside or downside. Well, we are technically in a short from 130. Let me see what this looks like. Maybe we schlong. Pretty big drawdown. It's kind of an ugly trade. You like a 1-to-1 risk to reward. I guess I'll leave it there. It's a pretty savage rejection from the 200 days. It's very obvious. Just immediately reversed. We've had a 1, 2, 4, 6, 7. We're on our 8th red day. Maybe this is due for a retracement to the upside. Sui could be good at $1. The risk here is the dollar not holding. You're looking for another leg down. That's what this short was placed on. Looking for another leg down. That leg down is going to be 55 cents. Maybe lower. I mean, that was October's wick. Maybe lower, maybe not 45 cents. This does not look good. Any long, anything taken on Sui, I think has to be a temporary position or needs to be managed really carefully. I think if it does get a bounce, it's likely to find that 200 again, lower high, and seek support. I wouldn't mess up. Operations cool down, baby. 87 here in the Carolinas. Yeah, dude, it's Foxy. So you guys know I bought a brand new air conditioner from Costco, and within 3 weeks it had some kind of manufacturing error. It's just bricked. Maybe I'll try to bring it to Costco. Maybe I'll try to bring it downstairs today. It's just really hard to move. It's really not a fun thing to try to move. It's heavy. It doesn't have an easy way to carry it or pick it up. Brent and US oil retesting highs, all-time highs coming. It's weird though because it's from Costco, and Costco, I've never bought anything from Costco that has like done this. Costco obviously will take it back, they'll refund it or return it, whatever, but still. What country do I live in? The US, baby. County. Northeast. In the north and the east. The east of the beast. Oof. Order delivery on another one. That's what I just have them take the one back too. George, that's like I'm thinking, how do I get them to do that? Because that's what I want to do. I want to drive this 100-pound piece of shit back. Like carry it. I have to carry it down 3 flights of stairs. Like it's annoying. Thanks, 𝐂𝐽 for the like on the stream, my friend. They should come pick it up. Maybe I'll call them. Honestly, at this point, I would pay them to just come pick it up. Even though that's silly, I shouldn't have to pay them. Like I would pay them. It's such a hassle. Oof. Yeah. Delaware. Well, Northeast, baby. We're all not too far away from each other. Yeah. All right, Bitcoin. You need to reverse here. This has to be the low. You need this to be the low. Don't even come to 75.7, though you probably will if you don't close green today. Pump it. Bring it up. Yeah. What's up, Star? Yeah, boys, it is like way too hot in here. I'm gonna have to call it. I love you all. I think I'm gonna try to figure out this air conditioner situation today because it's not really supposed to cool down. It's supposed to get hotter this week, which is bonkers. I think it's 20. How many degrees above the average is it today? 25 degrees above the average. Wild for like today. I'm gonna figure that out. But you guys stay cool. Things are looking spooky, but it's Monday. We've seen a lot of false move Mondays over the last year. Wouldn't be surprised if the rest of the week looks different. So stick around. Make sure you've subscribed, liked, followed, whatever, wherever you're at. I guess my buttons aren't working. Jump in our free Discord, discord.gg/TomCrown. It's free. You'll find community in there 24/7. So that's Tom Crown. There we go. People chatting, all kinds of goodies. Sign up with our partners in the video description below. BYD, FEMX, anything else. You'll get VIP roles in the Discord. Very juicy. I'll catch you very soon. I love you, Kingpin. Love you guys. What's up? Sin, David B, Das Peachin, all the boys over on YouTube. Appreciate you all. Quicker, Orlando. I'll catch you.